Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wide Open. I'm your host, Ashlyn Harris, and today's guest is someone who has built a career out of refusing to shrink. You might know her as Jan Sport, singer, performer, drag artist, and someone who's taken up space on some of the biggest stages in the world. From The Voice to America's Got Talent to RuPaul's Drag Race. But behind all of that is a story about growing up in spaces that didn't always make room for her, and the journey it took to finally stop hiding and step into exactly who she wanted to become. This is a conversation about identity, faith, sport, performance, and what it really means to find your voice, and then to have the courage to use it. So let's get wide open with Jan Sport. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. Today's guest is someone I'm so excited to have on the show, the one and only Jan Sport. You may know her as the most iconic drag queen out there, RuPaul's Drag Race. What was it? Season 12, All-Star Season 6. How could we forget? I mean, but you're like, you have such a rich story from the beginning of how this has come to be, this iconic Jan, the drag queen, but you have such a rich history. But what most people don't know is you have an insane voice. Insane voice. I have been at games where you're singing the national anthem, which is so rad. I love it. I'm obsessed, especially here in New York City. But I'm so happy to have you on the show. I cannot wait to dive into our soccer past.
Yes.
Eek. But welcome to the show, Jan. How are you, honey?
Thank you, Ashlyn. It's such an honor. It really is. I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing so good. I'm just at my little house here in my drag room in New Jersey, and we're just hanging out, trying to get through this life, manifest some warm weather, and just have some fun in 2026. I'm trying to just keep my head afloat of all of this stuff going on, and every day.
Honey, I am at the point where I choose joy, but I am ready to choose rage too. You just don't know what you're gonna get. And
rage is in the back pocket just in case. Yeah.
I am done falling in line and being polite and trying to be understanding. No, I'm done. And also, shout out New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey too.
Yes.
Jersey girls.
I know. I grew up here, and when I had a decision to move, I'm in Jersey City, so I'm literally 10 minutes away from Manhattan.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when the opportunity came up to move out here, I was like, girl, I'm taking it. I love New Jersey. And I was like, my boyfriend and all of my friends, like, they better learn to love Jersey too, the way I do.
Well, I just snatched up my queen from LA and I was like, get your ass over to New Jersey. Come on, baby.
Yes,
and I tell you what, she's learning to love it because she has no choice.
She really doesn't. No, we are strong-willed people, us Jersey girls. I love that.
Oh, I'm so obsessed. I want to dive because you do have such an interesting Jersey background. Also, I'm going to tell you another LOL moment because this is going to dive right into our first topic. My business partner and very good friend was like, hey, I sent you an invitation for my daughter's christening. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What the fuck is that? She's like, she's like, it's like New Jersey church, like think mob, think like a bunch of loud Italians in the church. And I was like, okay, and haven't been to a church in a while, but if I'm going to go to a church, bitch, it's going to be for you. And I just hope I don't fucking burn in flames walking into that door. Also, what does one wear? What does one gay woman wear to something like that?
To a christening? I have no idea. I can't remember my own, and I'm wondering what I wore. And you know what? I think they actually put a baby regardless of gender in some sort of a dress. So I feel like I was really doing the Lord's work truly when I was getting baptized and christened
Listen,
at a
this
young age.
hair, this texture, I am not touching water, honey.
No,
No, thank you.
it's gonna go
You are
flat in a
not,
second,
you are
doll.
not splashing me in some type
No.
of water. I don't know where it came from in my hair.
Uh-uh.
So talk to me about, okay, circling back. I love this. I love our personalities already. We're going to be best
Oh,
friends after
we're
this.
vibing, honey. We're vibing.
So tell me about growing up all boys Catholic school. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I grew up in the Catholic school system, K through 8. That was cute. But then it was like, I mean, it was cute. I was class president. I got to play Troy Bolton in the musical. It was all fun. But
Of
then
course you were.
instead of me thinking that it was a good idea for me to go to like maybe a co-ed school with more theater and more opportunities for that, I chose to go to the all boys Catholic school so that I can continue to play soccer on a good team.
Ooh, so now the truth comes out. I thought you were going
Yeah.
to really turn this conversation somewhere else. I was like,
No, where did you think I was following a boy there? Because it's
Yeah.
not that. I
Yeah.
was following my best friend who also ended up going to Christian Brothers Academy, but it was very platonic, very
Okay.
platonic. But
Okay.
I was definitely more of a. It's something that I think has been a big shift for me in my life is like really learning that I definitely did like to follow a lot of the ideas of my friends, but trying to find my own voice as I gotten older, especially through drag, has been so important. And so cool for me to like see where I've come from. I mean, I'm talking to you like this now and I'm like, could you imagine right now if I would go to high school, like just to do that? Like, no, absolutely not.
No.
So, but I always say it was a part of my journey, and that it was very, very interesting. Going to an all boys Catholic school was so weird. It was just like you definitely knew that you were the odd duck out.
Yeah.
It was very easy to clock that I was gay. I think I got a pass because I played soccer, and in gym class I could keep up with the boys who were, I mean, like, we had a lot of good athletes from a lot of different sports, and so you would be in a class with a couple of people who were on the varsity team of basketball or hockey or whatever, and I would be able to keep up with them, and so I think that I kind of got a pass in that regard. But when
Ooh.
I was getting older, I was starting to really flourish with musical theater. And when I found out you can go to college to major in musical theater, I said, baby, sign me up. And so that's when I really started to take the shift from soccer player to musical theater girl. And so I was just the musical theater diva in my all boys Catholic high school. And I was lucky because my best friend who I had followed there was the captain of our soccer team for varsity. And so he would also give, he would tell everybody to kind of lean back because the boys could just be so mean. I mean, I was getting called names left and right in my English class that my principal taught. And he didn't say anything. So I left the class and I went to go play Mario Kart in the senior lounge.
Who is this man?
I actually cannot even tell you his name. It's Brother something.
Brother? I need to know who this brother is.
Your brother, these
I've got
sisters have to
thoughts.
have a talk to you.
Well, tell me, Mr. Brother. Yeah. You're not fooling anyone, Mr. Brother.
Yes.
Well, tell me how it was, because clearly, like, I grew up in a locker room. I grew up in a very conservative. I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, I didn't go to an all Catholic school or like a all girls school, but I definitely know what it's like to like not have visibility and not feel safe and not, move. I was definitely moving different in the world than everyone else. So what was it like for you? I don't know. When did you come out as gay in the queer community? Was it very early? Mine was like, I was hiding very late in life, but
Yeah.
we all knew.
Sure, exactly. Everybody else around me knew except for myself, which was a blessing and a curse in a way, because I had a lot of people in my inner circle who were so happy for me and so ready to accept me and just have me flourish and just be there as a supporting system, which was amazing. But at school, it was so different. I mean, I was walking around lowering my voice, trying to fit in. I mean, I'm in a suit and tie every single day, and it just felt so structured. And I really feel like I lost so much of myself. I stopped taking voice lessons. I stopped doing theater for like 2 years. And I really was trying to assimilate. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I am going to sacrifice this part of myself that is just trying to come out just at like a young age, just like trying to emerge as like the true person who I was underneath all of this. And then I just was kind of like, I need to do this as an outlet. Like, I need to go back into theater. And so I did. But I mean, the journey to get there was rough because there's just so many people. I mean, I thought for the longest time, I was like, I'm sinning. This is so bad. I'm such a bad person. I can't be myself. I'm an abomination to God and everyone. And it
Oh.
was just it felt like so much pressure for something that now is just so natural to me. But I mean, it was hard for me to blossom for sure.
Yeah, I imagine you had to compartmentalize a lot of who you were just to
Yeah.
survive in that environment. Like,
Yeah,
especially if, you're right, people are fucking mean. People are,
totally.
especially like, I think now there's more visibility, there's more understanding. And like when we were growing up, people were just so fucking mean. I mean,
They were.
they still are.
They really still are, and I'm like, if any kid is listening out here, please be kind to each other. Please be so nice. You don't know what anybody's going through. Just be that
No.
girl or that person that anybody can look back on in a decade and say they were really nice to me and I really liked them. That's my message to all high schoolers who
Well,
were out there.
seriously, and what I think is so special about our community, and I'm not going to generalize because there are a bunch of assholes in our community too. But like there you have every right to be an asshole to everyone in your adult life, but you choose not to be,
Yeah,
right? Because
that
like,
is
right?
so true.
I'm just going to land the plane and say it. The amount of abuse that a lot of our queer community have to go through to find themselves. Like, we're already young, trying to like figure out all these hormones and shit going on, and things are growing and life is moving fast, and we don't have the understanding of like anything yet on the grander scale. And then you're just getting totally picked apart and tormented whether it's in the soccer locker room, whether it's in your school, whether it's in theater. Like, we can't do anything fucking right. But
Right.
how do you carry any of that still, or have you released it?
It's
Ah,
interesting to say because I definitely have noticed a more feisty part of myself coming out to play these days, but not in a way that I think is so aggressive. It's more so just it's defensive. It's like if you're going to try to come for me, I'm going to try to come for you too. And I feel like it's not resentment towards anybody who might have given me any flack in the past because I know that that's going to exist for the rest of my life regardless of,
mm.
anything that I can do on my end. But if I need to defend myself, I'm definitely going to stand up for myself. And I feel like that's definitely a little bit a part of our community, but also a little bit of a Jersey thing too.
Yeah. Well, what did the locker room feel like as someone who was still figuring out their identity? I cannot like, whoa.
It was definitely something that I loved to avoid. I did not
Mm.
like those situations because again, it just gives everybody the right to point you out as somebody different. None of the teachers are around, so anything goes. And I mean, it's like boys. It's like everybody's rough and everybody's gruff and everybody's like saying slurs and everything like that just for fun. And it's like they have no idea. And I mean, it was just one of those things that really just like kind of sat in the shelf of my head. And I was like, what do I even do with this? I don't even have an outlet. I don't really know what's going on in my body. It was really, really difficult to navigate that as somebody who really wasn't telling people like that I
Mm.
was gay. I eventually did come out in high school. And that was rough. Going through that was
Mm.
not fabulous. But yeah, what was it like for you?
I just think as a queer woman in sports, like, I could hide behind being the tomboy and people thought that was really the norm, right?
Mm,
And I kind of, my exes I did date and sleep with men. So I'm not a gold star little Leslie like a lot of these little, I don't have the gold star. But I tell you what, it's just like when I look back, I'm like, oh, every boyfriend was like a little, they're not going to like this, but very feminine, like
Mhm.
very little and like very clean cut.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, girl, we're dating other lesbians. Like, what's going on here? We had the signs. And but in sport too, I grew up playing with boys until I was 15.
I bet.
So I got made fun of a lot in elementary because I would like go into the girls' bathroom and they'd be like, you can't go to the bathroom in here, go to the boys' bathroom. So when that little bitch went into the stall, I would grab a bunch of wet paper towels and like throw it over the stall. Or like when she was like doing the monkey bars and I wanted to do like, cause I was like really athletic and I'm like, oh, watch me do a pull up. Watch me do this. I can
Yeah.
move faster than you. She was like, don't you want to be over there playing with the boys with football? And I yanked that bitch right off the handlebar thing.
Let me show you what I want to do, girl. Okay. Now, that's amazing that you were defending yourself like that at such a young age and just saying, you're not going to take anything. That's awesome. Oh,
But
I was so introspective. I was like, oh, I can't do anything.
Well,
so I look up to you. That's amazing.
I thought if they feared me, they would leave me alone.
Sure.
Right?
And
so
did
I
that
was like, I mean, like at one point it got so out of hand for 6th grade recess, we had to separate classrooms. Like
Oh my God.
Honey was ready to box.
Okay, so she was trying to go toe to toe with you.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
ready to really, this was life or death for me. I was like, oh no, you're not going to
Damn.
shame me in front of my peers, honey.
And it's crazy because that's like really influential times for us to learn who we are.
Yeah.
But I think that actually is kind of a beautiful thing that from a young age you were like, I'm not going to let anybody intimidate me. And I feel like that's so much of who you are and how you carry yourself on the field, off the field. And I think that, we learn from those experiences to just like bring that into who we are today.
Oh, I am so unapologetic because so much of my life I was trying to fit in. I was so good at a young age to abandon myself and fit in. And now
Interesting.
I just won't fucking sell my soul to the devil. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, if you don't like me, keep scrolling. There's plenty of
Right.
other people that speak to your soul. That's not me.
Totally. Rebellious. I love it. Yeah. It's hard to not too. And I feel like eventually it does come out for everybody who is trying to suppress who they really are. I'm like, honey, it's going to come out one way or another. So learn to love and embrace it because
Exactly.
that's the best way to live life. You don't want to live life with regrets of not being who you are. At least try,
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's it. It was very informative. Like I had to read a room very early in my life.
Yeah.
I just life, when I think about how much that hurt me in a lot of ways, and I had to carry so much of that shame. It really was formative years of my life that I can't get back. It's like a
Yeah.
weird concept to have. Like childhood felt really weird, and I got really good at abandoning myself.
Yeah. Did your identity really become like the athlete and just kind of leaning into being like, well, I can kind of leave that at school. I have my club team to go play for. I have other things to go do. I feel like when we were younger, it was so easy to kind of not compartmentalize that, but just to be like, I can put my identity in other places. Kind of like what I was saying. Like, it's easy to kind of like hide, but eventually it's going to start creeping out and you got to be who you are and put that out there. But
So it's so true. When did you actually find and realize your voice, like your actual singing voice? Because it is magical and it is special. I'm
you.
like, oh,
Thanks.
you just were like playing soccer and you had a voice like that, honey? I'm sorry, wait, what?
Thank you. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I've been kicking a soccer ball and kind of singing since I was 3 years old. Like, I've always wanted to be on the stage, which is what my family tells me when we had christenings, when we had baptisms, when we had confirmation parties, all of it. I was on the floor giving shows. And I just like, you couldn't keep me away. My parents and my grandparents got me a tap board. I was tap dancing along to river dance when I was a kid. So it was always very like in my nature. My dad was a DJ, so I grew up around a lot of different music and a lot of different genres. And I would love to sing along with whoever he was playing. But specifically, I remember it's really all around American Idol, to be honest with you. When American Idol hit, I was like, I had a big fucking boombox and I was just next to it with my ear and I was just listening to these women just belt out these songs. I still had a voice that could really go up there, so I was trying to go note for note with these women, and that's when I was like, okay, we can really do something here. But the real tea is when Adam Lambert came onto the scene and he had all those high notes, and me and my friends were just kind of fooling around, and I was like, like just, going up there doing my thing, and everyone was like, whoa, like not everyone can do that. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I can.
Like, I can. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, let's learn something about that. Let's try to get into that. But yeah, it came at a time where I kind of had to decide, do I want to play soccer or do I want to play, I mean, and let's be real here, I was definitely not going to like D1 school. It was like, it was probably going to end for me in high school, but it was like, do I continue to go down this path? Because I do really like playing, but I'm also like, you found so much success in theater in this short amount of time. I had, my high school love at the time was like going to school to major musical theater too. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me try to lean into this now that I know that that's a possibility. Let's do that. But yeah, that's kind of 16. A lot of things happened for me. Came out, decided to really pursue theater and like go back into voice lessons. Like I was like, let's get into a lesson and just really hone this. And it kind of all took off from there.
I love that. So where did Jan Sport, like when did Jan come to life? Where did the name come from? The energy, the identity? I want to know it all.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my friends would say in the early ages of Jan, like, who I really am got to move into her. Like all of my creative passions and all of that energy I get to really put in her. I don't feel like there's a big disconnect for me and my for me and the character, like in or out of drag, but it was definitely something where I could be larger than life and it could be so easy for people to understand and to relate with. But it's funny how it all started. I loved drag and I loved watching Drag Race when I was younger, but the very first time that I left the country was to go to watch the women's semifinal game in Canada for the 2015 World Cup. And so I was at the game where
I was there.
I know. I was at the game versus the semifinal versus Germany. And
the PK.
Yes. It was crazy. I know.
The missed PK that saved.
We were losing our minds. I screamed things. I'm never like somebody to be like, screw you, like, yeah. But it was so tense that I was like, like, yes, like, I'm so happy you missed this. Like, it was crazy.
Honey
it was a crazy
blew
game.
it. She probably was never the same.
How could you be? How could you be?
She's still crying in the corner.
And you know what? I feel for that girl. I feel for her. But all this to say, as we were leaving, I got an email that I like had booked a cruise ship that I was going to go and sing around across the world on. So I went to Greece, Italy, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, like all of these spectacular places. But especially when we were in these countries that were definitely more conservative, I definitely found myself being like, I need to really let loose and just be my gay self. And so as the shows were going on, I was doing this for like 6 months. As the shows were going on, there was one show where I could really let myself have it with a makeup brush. And I was not a makeup person at all. I really loved it from afar, but I wasn't good at it at all.
Yeah.
And the girls in the cast were like, okay, so what if we did this and what if we did this? And they really started to like build a canvas for me to start learning my makeup. They would give me wigs. They would give me their dresses that they wore in the show. And eventually I went on to do drag on the ship like a couple of times on there. It wasn't as Jan Sport. It was as I'm not even Greek. I just really loved the food. It was Kiki Tzatziki, and
Stop it. Kiki Tzatziki?
it was
That's
like when
so
Let's Have a
good.
Kiki came out, and I was like, let's. It's
Oh,
Kiki
that
Tzatziki. So,
Kiki. Let's have a Kiki. That song,
oh my
it was on
god.
loop for me. It was on loop for me.
Exact. Me too. So it was just right on the brain. I was like, Kiki Tzatziki, this is it. I get off the ship basically, and then I'm like, all right, Kiki's gonna stay there. But
We're gonna keep her on that boat.
yeah, Kiki's just gonna stay there. I had no intention of bringing her back onto land. And then one of my friends was doing this competition that was like, he was like, you can just sing in it. We're gonna have drag queens. We're gonna have circus acts. Everyone's, it's a competition. Just come. I need another number. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go. Then I was getting ready and I was like, I could do like this like drag performance. Like that could be kind of fun. And so I made this mix. I just 3 minutes of Kris Jenner trying to get in Chicago on Broadway. And then I sang I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis.
Yes.
And I was like, and I won the competition. It was like my first time ever doing anything like that. And I was like, okay, wait, I'm like kind of really good at this
I'm
actually.
good.
So yeah, but I was still going as like my boy name. I was like, Charlie Mantione is Kris Jenner. And they were all like, honey, you need a name. You need a name. And so one of my friends from years ago he did tell me, he was like, when you are a drag queen, again, one of the things that everybody else knew before I knew, he was like, when you are a drag queen, your name is going to be Jan Sport. It just fits. And I was like, okay. And
Done.
it really did. Now I am a Jan Sport ambassador. I
You
mean,
really are.
I got my little baggie right here. My girl,
Oh my
my Jan Sport
gosh.
bag. It's
I
crazy.
love
I'm like,
that.
the pipeline to that is hilarious. Like I started doing drag as a Kiki Tzatziki 60-year-old Kris Jenner impersonator, and here we are.
Yeah, but like so much had to come after that because you were on America's Got Talent. You were on The
Yeah,
Voice. You were on RuPaul's Drag. I mean, it opened so many doors. Like,
yeah,
what was it like for you to be on these platforms and these shows? And like you kept coming back and everyone wanted more. Everyone wanted more. And I think
yeah,
that's really interesting because, you know, a lot of these shows are catering to like middle America, right?
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a pretty cool thing to think about. How did that feel for you? Like, did you just know like, oh, I'm gonna go try out for this, or oh, I'm gonna give this a go?
Yeah. Truthfully, after like my second performance in drag, like my follow-up number to my first Kris Jenner number, my second Kris Jenner number, it went over really well again, and I was like, I am good at this. Like it was something that really
Mm,
came naturally to me, but also, and this was the big moment that I had realized. I was like, this is something that is my own. I'm not following anybody else's path with this. I don't have anybody in my inner circle who is doing this. I am taking my creative mind and putting it into something that is so different from what all of my friends are doing. Like I said earlier, like it was easy for me to follow the crowd. It's easy for me to just be like, oh, my friends are doing this, my friends are doing that, and I want to do that too because we're all, I did have the same interests as them. But this was something that I found really by myself and really honed by myself. And
mm.
then I was like, and you're good at it and you love to do it. So let's follow that. After that second performance, I was like, I'm going to be on season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I
Mm.
said it. And like 12 is my lucky number. It was just like, it was 3 years from when I did that.
Manifesting,
I I
people,
I say
manifest.
janifesting.
Manifest.
We
There we go.
janifested, and but I did. I like America's Got Talent, The Voice. I mean, these were all things that just kind of fell into my lap, and I was like, all of these good experiences that are coming your way can't just be flukes. It's because
Mm.
you're good, you're passionate at with what you do, and that shows and that translates to people. So that all happening really, really quickly, and then like rising in New York City nightlife all at the same time was a ball. It was so much fun.
Mm.
I just had met so many people that are still in my life today. I like got introduced to this whole nightlife scene and all of these different people who are just, artists like me who are just, trying to carve their niche and show people their art and what to do. And that was just I mean, and I'm still working in nightlife. I still go to the clubs and the bars here and it's fantastic, but that was just like such a fun era. Like 2016 drag was rough around the edges. It was
Mm,
crazy, but it was everywhere. And so
everywhere.
to kind of catch that wave and then go right onto RuPaul's Drag Race was a dream come true. I really did manifest. I was like, I'm gonna work my ass off and get this, and
And
we
and
did.
it's really really special too for me because when I think, about pressure and being on stage, like there's a lot, like RuPaul's Drag Race is like no joke. All eyes,
No.
everyone is sitting around, everyone's watching, whether you're a part of the community or not. And it's like a high pressure situation. Do you think sport and theater being on stage and having such a history and background and rising to the occasion played a big part in your success on stage?
1000%.
I love
Because
that.
I think that the thing that I realized in this industry very quickly is you have to really have longevity and you're always going to
Mm,
have to fight. You're going to lose. And that's just a part of the game. And for me, I think the thing that I went into Drag Race was I mean, it really does feel like the World Cup. It feels like the
yep.
Olympics. It's just, it's the most intense platform that you can have as a drag
Mhm.
queen, and it's
Mhm.
a competition.
Yep.
So for me, it was, I'm laser focused, all eyes on the prize. I have to win. I have to impress these judges. And it's interesting because I don't think that that was disingenuous to who I am, but I think that mindset of sports and just being like, I have
Mhm.
to win gold, I have to get the cup, that I think got in the way of me really having as much fun as I would have liked to and probably showing the judges a little bit more of who I am. But at
Mm.
the same time, like you said, so many people are watching. It was also the COVID season, so truly everyone had nothing to do on a Friday night but sit down and watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And people saw how much I cared about it, and they saw how much, like, you can put so much effort into wanting something so badly and it just doesn't happen. And people related to that and
Mm.
saw my passion and how much I cared about wanting to get this thing so bad and not getting it right before their eyes, right before my eyes, too. I mean, all of those emotions that I had on the show were so real and raw, but it was such a good learning lesson for me that I can gain so much from this experience and from other people who are seeing my authentic self, cry on national television about
Mhm.
losing this thing. And I think that that was probably the biggest takeaway and one of the most important things that I took away from that, which was just I wear my heart on my sleeve. I fight for the things that I want to, and may not have gotten the crown, but I have lifelong fans now who are like, I see myself in you going through situations
Mm.
like that in my everyday life, and thank you for being passionate about what you do and not apologizing for how much you love what you do.
And it's so well put. And I think during this time that you're on RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, drag queens just started blowing up everywhere. Everyone
Yeah.
was talking about it. Everyone wanted to go to drag brunch and drag shows. And it was, as someone who's been in the community, it's such a sacred, like, drag queens are everything to us. It's a type
Yeah.
of expression and performance, and it's really sacred to our community. And then, boom, we had a change, in political landscape, and then it was like Target, 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 strip drag shows. You can't read to children. Children can't go to drag brunch. And I'm like, all of us were just like, what the fuck is going on? This is
Yeah.
crazy behavior. These are the most, like, there are mothers. These are the people we look to, our queens, to feel seen, to like feel safe, to feel that we could lean in. And, I was in Florida at the time, and it just was really, I can't imagine, like, I experienced it in a different way, clearly, than you.
Yeah.
What was that time like? And even now, like, there has to be a sense of, like, I worry about your safety in this landscape. And I
Yeah.
imagine you do too.
It was when it was really rough. I was on a Christmas tour years ago. Well, not years. It was like 2022, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And we were genuinely being followed around by the Proud Boys from California to Texas. And there were men outside with these AK-47s. We had FBI on the roof making sure that everybody stayed safe. I remember we went up to the roof in San Antonio and just saw hundreds of people on both sides fighting for me to get the opportunity to sing Oh Holy Night to somebody. It's crazy. It was amazing to see how our community really did rally against us. And they
Mm-hmm.
said, because I mean, for me here in New Jersey and New York, it's not like, and I mean, it's deep and it's rough, but it's like people, we're not really showing up, posted up with a gun to protect ourselves here. In Texas, they were like, we're showing up, arms in arms. And I was like, that was something scary for me. It was something I never seen before on a
Mm.
level that was actually real and palpable. I could see somebody in my peripheral with something that could really be dangerous to me, my community, with just one pull. And that was horrifying. It was genuinely,
Mm.
and I mean, we were on Fox News. It was a big story. People were just really coming after us for doing something so innocent to people. And I really lost my mind at that. That was horrifying. I do still feel a little bit of that. And I will say the people who ran that tour kept us very safe. There were
Mm-hmm.
there were so many precautions in order for us to feel safe, but it's definitely a real threat. And yeah, I say this, I feel so lucky to be in this city that does feel safe to me and feels like, there's danger everywhere looming around every corner, but in New York I've always felt a sense of like, we're New Yorkers, we get it, we know exactly who we are here, and we can really accept others. But I have that luxury. A lot of people in this
Mm-mm.
country don't. And that it makes me scared for them too. It really, really is tough. But I always say, and like you said too, like drag queens are really, I always say drag queens and lesbians are the pillars of the community. And so
Yes.
I'm like, I have to be strong and go out there for my community. My whole goal this year is to really just be an entertainer and have
Mm.
fun and do what I can in those moments on and off stage to just give people joy and energy and light in a time where it's so dark and we can
Yes.
really find ourselves spiraling down that hole. It is dangerous out there, but I can't sit in my home with all of this drag here and not go out and wear it and be myself?
I think that's so beautiful, and I think that is what our community is so about, and I just love the fact that even when it feels scary, even when safety could be on the line, we show up because
Yeah,
we know the importance of visibility. We understand what it's like to fight like hell for our freedom. This is
yeah,
not new to us. This is not We're rolling back the rights of our community constantly, and women, but like we're not new to this.
no,
We have been fighting to be seen and understood and heard for a very long time, and it's like you're not going to win. There's too many
mm-mm,
of us. Like, you're just
yeah,
not gonna win. We're not gonna
no.
this current landscape and this political climate, they're trying to force us all back into the closet.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you
Girl,
doing? What do
I'm
you think is going to happen?
I we're not going back. We're not going backwards. So I'm
Like at
like,
all. It's going to make you're really going to be annoyed in a couple of years when we get back on track. Like it's going to be so in your face. And
well,
like, it's just, and it really is continuing to we will always push back.
do you see how many, like, I'm seeing studies right now and statistics and this and that about how many women now are starting to be a part of the queer community. And I'm like, oh, so
Thank God.
this toxic masculinity, honey, we're fucking done. The women are done. Are like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little chica companion, baby. We're gonna be salsaing in the kitchen. I've got no drama. I've got, no fucking asshole trying to tell me to shrink myself every 2 seconds. I'm like, this toxic masculinity is just telling women, like, I don't fuck with men anyways.
and honestly, I don't. Like, it's just like, and I get it for y'all too. I'm like, I totally understand. Like, it's like you have somebody. I mean, my whole family is queer. I have a sister who is a lesbian. I
Ah,
have a brother who is trans, and so like it's just like
can
to
I
have
come for the
somebody.
holidays?
Yeah, literally, please. I'm like they're all gonna come to a Gotham game. I'm like, I think I already have a Gotham game on the calendar, so I'm
Let's
like,
go.
we'll all do a link up there.
Let's do it.
But yeah, I have not seen those studies, but I totally believe it. It's true, and I mean, like there are some really great straight men out there. Like,
Oh,
not gonna lie,
yes.
love you guys down, but
Yes.
it's like, and I mean, again, we can say this for everybody, but it's like sometimes you just gotta go with your own. You gotta stick to the people who know you and know your journey and know what it's like to
That
be
part.
another female in the world, you know?
Do you feel the pressure right now to be visible? Like, do you feel, is that a heavy weight on your shoulders to constantly keep showing up and, in this fight? It just does feel like relentless a little bit, but do you feel
Yeah.
like I'm outwardly me, right? I'm
Hmm.
outwardly unapologetically queer and I love my community and I live it loud and I don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a kind of way. I am a human. I have the same, wants and needs to live a safe, respectful, equal life as anyone else and raise my children in a safe environment. But like, do you feel like, how do you protect your joy in a world that feels so hostile and you constantly have to keep showing up?
Yeah. Honestly, I try to do. It really did happen at the beginning of this year where I did feel so much of that pressure. It was just when like and I mean the news cycle is always so bad, but it was just there was some big wave that happened like in the beginning of the year, and all of my friends were just so defeated. Like the most joyous people I know, the people who I look to lift my spirits up, they were all just like, "What are we gonna do? How are we
Mhm.
gonna get through this?" And I was just like, I need to really shift my point of view to being an entertainer this year and showing up and saying I'm going to have fun and I'm going to take you all away and I'm going to take myself away so we can
Hmm.
carve out some joy for ourselves for this 2 hours while I'm on stage and y'all are at a bar watching me do a show. I'm like, I have to have fun. I do what I can to limit my news intake. I
Mhm.
always say too, I'm like, our brains, our bodies are not evolved enough to be dealing with the amount of information that we receive on our phones in our news. We have access to everything all the time, and our brains are still, this is it's the, technological revolution,
Yeah.
electronic revolution. Like we're going through something that has not been charted before. And so it's not, I don't think it's healthy for us to be consuming things all the time like that, especially when it's not balanced with any joy. So
Mm-mm.
I'm going to be the joy that I can put into other people's lives. And that's really helped me as a performer. It's made me have a lot of fun. And it's also taken the pressure off of me because I'm going in there for one goal and one goal only. Let's have a good time.
I love that. Well, then what is next genuinely that excites you? Like, what do you want to be doing? Like, what is something I love this because like we're dreamers, we're
Yeah.
entertainers. Like, what are the dreams you haven't said out loud yet you want to chase?
There's two that I really want to do. I'll start with the first one, which is like something that I do think will happen for me. Again, we're Janifesting here. I really want to
Janifesting,
be
baby.
on Broadway. I want to sing on Broadway and just do a show there, maybe create a role. I would love to be the first drag queen to win a Tony Award. Like, that would be
Uh,
everything.
yes.
But also down the street, and I've been sending some messages here. I'm like, down the street, lol. I mean, I'm like, MetLife is right
Yep.
there. The World Cup is going to be there in just a
Mhm.
couple months' time. I'm
Mhm.
like, I want to link up with some queer outlet and just be the drag queen that reports to the gay men who have no idea what's going on. But in a post heated rivalry world, we can all get a little more into sports. Sports are so much fun. And I don't
So,
think that the gays know that just yet, but I really want to bring that to them. I'm like, I live right there. There's so much that they could learn, and it's fun. Those games are so much fun, and it's
well,
intense. It's awesome.
let's start a show. iHeart. You heard that. Hello. We need
iHeart.
we need our very first gay World Cup show.
Come on! I think it
Let's
would be huge!
I think it would be so good. I'm going to send this to every network. You've already sparked my interest of making this happen for you.
Done!
And if I just have to be the cheerleader behind the camera directing, I am in.
Please, girl. No, oh come on. You gotta be right by my side. But you know what? And you can do both. You can call the shots, and you can be in it too.
Reporting live from MetLife Stadium, 2 queers and a straight. We need a straight, maybe. I think that's a great 2 queers and a straight.
Totally good. I love that. Done. We are
Okay.
workshopping right here. I
Okay.
love this. Good.
Well,
What are yours? Do you have any dreams and goals that you haven't said out loud yet?
I manifest a lot. I think it's a really important thing. I like to call my partner's this new, I like to call her my crush because I want her to forever be my crush.
That's so
Um,
cute.
we we like to manifest, and I want to speak into the world and not feel shame about the things I want. Like I want to, I dedicated, as you know, my whole life to sports.
Yeah.
And I retired at 37 and they were like, bye, next. And like, that's the reality of women's sports. Like we didn't make enough money to, be on this retirement campaign. I'm not a Tom Brady. I didn't make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm
Yeah.
now starting over and I love it. And I have the tools to do so because of what sport gave me. And
Yeah.
I'm like unlearning a lot of my really competitive like habits of
Totally.
chasing greatness and not passing like reality. And I have 2 young kids and I want to be present and I want to be soft. Like
Yeah.
sports hardens you in a way. So I'm learning how to be a softer version of myself while still keeping the greatest aspects that made me a great athlete. And now I'm also moving into the entertainment space. Like
Yeah.
I'm about to, I'm a producer. I've done a lot of sports documentaries and I'm, putting my money where my mouth is and I want to invest in women's sports and stories. And now I'm, fingers crossed and I'm about to start, all of the stuff I've been doing in the entertainment world has been unscripted and I
Yeah.
want to step into scripted.
Yes.
So now I'm speaking this out loud. I'm about to produce and help with a new sports show drama that is scripted. But also, I say this and I say this genuinely, Jan, and you'll know this. When I was younger, um, I loved movies like Sandlot. I
Yeah.
loved Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all of Mighty Ducks. But if you remember,
please.
but it's all boys.
It is all boys.
We had League of Their Own, not kids,
No.
right?
Those are women, honey.
Those are
Okay?
women, honey.
Yes.
So I would love to recreate. My dream is to recreate a type of movie that is scripted about young girls, like how I was as a young Grom fighting
Yeah.
to play with boys. Like almost, remember Ladybug?
I don't know if I remember Ladybug.
Ladybug was literally a boy dressed up as a little girl to play on a girls' soccer team. Yes, come on. Get
It's coming
those
to me
nail
now.
breakers.
Yeah.
Like it was, but also again, the underlying theme was women weren't good enough unless a boy dressed up as a girl and played with them. Like fuck that.
Literally crazy.
I want to make a movie for kids and little girls showing the power they fucking hold and they can
Yeah.
hang with the best of us. And we haven't seen that yet.
No.
And that's I've been taking like a lot of meetings. Like I really, really believe in this. Women to see what they're capable of. There has to be shit out there for them to see.
Exactly.
And we just constantly saw little boys being great.
Literally. I mean, I can't think of, I can think of maybe like 2 movies that I know that are centered around 2 women playing sports. And that's like it in comparison to all of these movies about like men. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, congrats. And I'm wishing you all the best and success in that. That is important. And it's something that I'm certainly going to watch when it happens. So Keep
Thanks,
going and
honey.
congrats. Yeah, of
Thanks,
course,
babe.
of
Well,
course.
my last question I really like to ask people, and someone who grew up in the soccer space, like the show title is called Wide Open, but it's not
Hmm.
about, wide open and sports is really separating yourself from everyone and like seizing the moment and the opportunity. But what does like wide open for you mean in 2026 of just, I think the important part of my show and what I want to bring to our audience and the people watching is we're so much bigger than what we do. Like we've
Yeah,
walked a journey in life most people don't know. And I think
yeah.
we have to be able to talk about it and who we are and what made us, but also what broke us in a lot of
Mm,
ways. Because I say,
yeah.
if you're going to fail, fail fast, because failure is what makes us who we are. It's the greatest teacher in our life. So I just want to know, what does being wide open mean to you in 2026?
I think for me, I always say I'm a girl who wears my heart on my sleeve and I'm an open book with people. I love having open and honest conversations with folks, even hard and difficult ones too. But
Mm,
I definitely notice myself being a little more reclusive in terms of not talking about the feelings that I have about, what is going on in the world. I really do try to compartmentalize that so that I can focus on entertaining other people. But
mm,
for me, it's to have that balance of stabilizing myself and having conversations with my friends. Because I'm like, I know that if I'm feeling this way when I'm rotting on
mhm,
my couch and somebody, and I'm feeling a little doom and gloom, I know one of my best friends is too. And I want to be
mhm.
there for them. I want to be there for my community and my friends and be open to hearing how other people are feeling because that's how we're all going to get through it together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I do feel like this year more than any year that we've had post COVID it just feels a little more electric outside right now,
Mhm,
and I'm like I want to be open to these opportunities that are going to come my way. I want to just not inhibit myself from anything that could come my way, anyone who can come my way, and just
mm.
bring it all in. But, you know, keep the things on the outside that I need to.
Yeah.
Be the goalie, baby.
Be the goalie, baby. Well, that's beautifully said, and I appreciate how you show up over and over and over again. And
Thanks. You too.
Sophia and I, since we're neighbors, now I need to come to one of the shows. Like, what are we
Please,
doing?
done.
I want
Whenever you want.
I want front row seats. I'm like, I
Yeah,
want to be at all of the drag shows. I want to be at all the drag brunches, and then
done.
I want to have like date night.
Done. I'm going to give you my schedule.
Okay,
Fantastic. My
perfect.
boyfriend's going to be back in town now next Monday. So
Done.
honey, we're going to go double date. I love it.
I love this pair. And then
Yeah,
our
no,
show, someone needs to pick our show out.
totally. Oh, baby, we're gonna be together in July. We're gonna go to dinner and do some pre-pro. It's gonna be
Okay,
fabulous.
let's go. I am so in. Thank you so much for being on this
Ashlyn,
show. You were
thank you.
such a light, Jan. And I wish you nothing but the best, and you deserve it.
You too, Ashlyn. Truly an honor. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everything that you're doing. And yeah, I will. I know I'll see you soon, girl. So thank you
Oh,
so much,
yes.
and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Wide Open. We'll see you next week. What a great episode. I really enjoyed Jan being on this podcast. And what I love most is about the conversation that isn't just about becoming, it's about unlearning everything that told you to be smaller. Jan didn't just find their voice, they fought for it in classrooms and locker rooms, on stages, and in a world that doesn't always feel safe to be fully seen. And I think there's something really powerful in that reminder. You don't have to wait for permission to be who you are. To anyone listening who still feels like they're hiding, you're not alone. There's a version of you on the other side of that fear that is louder, freer, and fully yours. As always, thanks for being here. This is Wide Open, and I'm your host, Ashlyn Harris. We'll see you next time.